What's up, Lumiose trainers? lumiosetrainerzac here. Now, if you've been following the Pokemon anime recently, you will know about Ash Greninja and his new form called Ash Greninja. The Ash Greninja form is a temporary transformation similar to Mega Evolution and is only achieved when the bond between Ash and his Greninja is at its max. Now, if you don't know, this type of transformation has been dubbed by the fans as Synchro Evolution.
Many have theorized that Greninja's new form is actually a burst evolution. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically an evolution introduced in the shitty Gen 5 spin-off manga. In the manga, the Pokemon would fuse with his trainer. That sounds like something out of a creepypasta.
Now, the reason people are making this connection is because when Greninja uses this new form, it takes on the appearance of Ash. Now, that's a cool connection, but I think I finally found the answer to Ash Greninja.
Before I get to my theory, I want to give a quick shout out to PokéAmino user Barry. I thought her theory was amazing, and it's what I'm going to use to help answer the mystery that is Ash Greninja. Her theory is that Infernape's Blaze is a failed attempt at Synchro Evolution. Blaze is an ability that all fire starters have, and is activated when their health is really low. It makes the fire type attacks of that Pokemon even more powerful than they would normally be. Barry explains how Infernape's Blaze is different than a normal Blaze. While a normal Blaze would surround the Pokemon in an orange aura like May's Blaziken, Ash's Infernape freaks out. This happens to it as a Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape. She then explains how as a Chimchar, Infernape activated a normal Blaze with Paul, but with Ash, it was always a more powerful and out of control version. One thing to know is that Infernape and Greninja both have a close bond with Ash, and their abilities are only activated when they're almost knocked out. Her conclusion was that because Infernape formed a close bond with Ash, it attempted to Synchro Evolve, but failed, causing it to freak out and lose control.
Great theory, right? I know, I thought it was awesome, but then I started thinking and realized we could take this a little further. My theory is that there's a connection between Blaze and this so-called Synchro Evolution.
Now before we refocus on Ash's Greninja, let's talk a little more about Ash's Infernape. Now there's no doubt that it had a greater bond with Ash than it did with Paul.
You've got lots of strong moves! Look, Chimchar, you've got to believe in yourself and stay strong for the both of us! Okay, Chimchar, let's give him a battle!
In the episode Tears for Fears, Chimchar is adjusting to its new life with Ash, while at the same time flashing back to its life with Paul.
Pathetic. That's nothing to be proud of. And until you can produce a flame like you did that one time, you're worthless. And don't you forget it.
Here we can clearly see that Infernape had it pretty rough as a Chimchar, and never really got to show emotion or make any connections with Paul. While Ash thinks of his Pokemon as friends, Paul only thought of them as tools that would make him a stronger trainer. During the episode Glory Blaze, we learned through a flashback that Paul captured Chimchar because it saw how powerful it becomes when using Blaze. Chimchar finally activates Blaze under Paul's control in the episode Shape of Things to Come. However, it is weaker than the first time Chimchar used it, and in the episode Glory Blaze, Paul mentions how he was never able to get that same power.
I knew that if I had that kind of firepower, I was going to win the Pokemon League for certain. But ever since that day, we haven't been able to duplicate that power.
I believe that Blaze is an instinct that all fire starters have, and it's up to the bond between the trainer and the Pokemon that determines how strong they become. That might explain why Chimchar has an average Blaze with Paul, but a mind-blowingly powerful one with Ash. So if Infernape clearly had a stronger bond with Ash, why did it freak out and become disobedient?
It's possible that the strong bond between Ash and Infernape caused Blaze to become too powerful. It was too much for Infernape to handle during his pre-evolutions, so it would lose control and freak out. It finally learned how to control Blaze during the episode 8th Wonder of the Sinnoh World, where it had a temporary rampage, but then began listening to Ash again. This is probably because it was able to control that power with its more mature final stage evolution. That's why, during Ash's final battle with Paul, Infernape was able to use Blaze again, without freaking out, and was even more powerful than before.
Infernape's more powerful than ever!
It seems as if Infernape's Blaze becomes more powerful every time they use it, and that's because the bond between Ash and Infernape keeps on growing stronger throughout their journey. But it isn't at its max, which might explain why it hasn't taken on the appearance of Ash yet.
On the official Pokemon website, it explains that the Ash Greninja form is unlocked when the bond between Ash and Greninja is raised at its max. This explains why Ash has yet to master this new form, because his bond with Greninja is not raised at its max yet. The official artwork of Ash Greninja shows that Greninja is supposed to have a giant water shuriken. Although it has been able to transform, Greninja has always been covered in a veil of water, indicating that the transformation is not complete. The first time Greninja transformed, it was only for a few seconds, but every time Greninja keeps using it, the form stays even longer and becomes stronger. In one of the latest episodes, Ash Greninja battles Champion Diantha's Mega Gardevoir, and the giant water shuriken finally appears. This is Ash Greninja's true form. It made Greninja so powerful that it almost defeated Mega Gardevoir. However, Ash and Greninja passed out due to the side effects of this transformation. The appearance of the giant water shuriken means that the bond between Ash and Greninja is getting closer and closer to its max. Now, what connects Infernape's Blaze to the Ash Greninja form? Well, besides the strong bond with Ash that's required, you can also make the connection with their eyes. When Infernape uses Blaze, its eyes turn red. The same goes for Ash Greninja. The red eyes on Infernape might indicate that it's close to transforming, seeing as how Greninja's eyes change red right before it transforms as well.
So if you're a knowledgeable Pokemon fan like me, you might already know where I'm going with this theory. The Ash Greninja transformation is actually the most powerful form of Greninja's ability, Torrent.
Torrent is the water type equivalent of Blaze. It powers up all water type moves of the Pokemon when its health is low. That's why Greninja transforms when it's badly injured. This also helps explain why Ash and Greninja pass out after using the form too long. Because Blaze and Torrent are activated when the Pokemon has little health left, it only makes sense to have a limited amount of time before you eventually faint. So in conclusion, the Blaze, Torrent, and Overgrow ability power up the Fire, Water, and Grass starters' moves when they are low on health. Depending on the bond between the trainer and Pokemon, the power of their ability can increase or decrease. When their bond is at its max, the Pokemon gains a new transformation through their ability called Synchro Evolution. Because the trainer is synchronized with their Pokemon, the Pokemon takes the appearance of their trainer. They also might mirror each other's movements, and the trainer might even feel the same pain as the Pokemon. This also means that once the Pokemon faints, so does the trainer, and vice versa.
So now that you know all that, don't you want to see an Ash Infernape form? I know I do. Someone should make some fan art of that. Speaking of fan art, it would be nice if I had some fan art of my own. I'll be taking some now on Twitter if any of you guys want to do that. Anyways, thanks for watching this theory. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like. I wouldn't have done it without reading Barry's theory first, so go check hers out. I'm gonna provide a link in the description. It's awesome. You have to check it out. Now, do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Now, before I leave, make sure you're subscribed if you aren't. That way you can get new videos every time I upload. Also, leave a like if you're interested, and also share with a friend if you thought the theory was cool. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and PokéAmino because I tend to post stuff there. And last but not least, make sure you live your life to the fullest, and I'll see you all next time.